guys. Don't mind my mess. Uh, let's get this here, old Lincoln welding power. G8000. We're gonna, this machine, picked it up about a year ago for a fairly decent price. And, it had some issues. It wasn't running right. Got it all, did a whole tune-up on it. New fuel pump, fuel filter, battery, spark plugs, air filter. Took care of all of that. And we had to put a new starter solenoid on it. We had to put a new starter solenoid on it, and worked good for a while. We had some issues there towards the end. We were using it when we were building the shop here. It just stopped putting out power. And what we ended up finding out was oil pressure sensor was bad. So tried to put an aftermarket oil pressure sensor in it, and that wouldn't work. Still wouldn't put out any power. So finally tracked down a Lincoln oil pressure sensor. That fixed the output problem. However, now the starter solenoid is bad. So I was actually able to track down the replacement starter solenoid for it. So let's get this thing, let's get the covers pulled off of it and get starter solenoid replaced. I have a little, I don't know, 4x6 wagon out there, and I'm going to bolt this down to it. We'll throw a jack on the little wagon so that we don't have to manhandle it, and then we're going to park this down in the barn. Alright guys, here we go. Got the old one out. This thing ain't that old. Bought this when I bought the machine, and it was no good. Here we are again. So now, let's get this one put in there. See what happens. Okay. Wouldn't you know it? This one's different. It doesn't have the same lead on it. So let's go ahead and let's change these out. Good. Now Lincoln. So Lincoln is nice enough to give you this here wiring diagram. So ours is the Weld Power G8000 Briggs Stratton. So basically, pretty simple from this point forward. Just go ahead and put all your wire leads right where they tell you to put them, due to your corresponding machine. So let's get this thing bolted in here. I kind of like it. To make up higher is a little nicer. What do y'all think? Up a little higher? I think up a little higher looks better. Okay. Just reverse order of what we did on the way out. Alright guys, I feel just a tad bit dumb. These tabs are held on with the nut. So technically speaking, I didn't need to cut these off to put them ends on there. I could have just taken them off here. I guess it helps to slow down sometimes. Battery lead. This one. This is the battery lead. That's the battery. This is the starter. What's that? There we go. That's better. Okay. Alright. Now, according to this diagram, we will put this wire from that one to that one. Okay, and this one, which is 211, it's right down to there. Now we should be able to put all of our pieces on there. Alright, so you guys have probably been going through this whole thing and not been able to see anything. But that's basically what it looks like. We have the main battery lead, which comes in here, goes to this post. We got we got the oil pressure sender wire, which is this one right here. And then this is the starter lead, and this is um the start switch power. This is what gives the actual signal to start the machine. So I'm gonna put some dielectric grease on here and we'll go from there. Alright. A little bit of dielectric grease. Try to keep things from corroding as best as possible when we can. Just gonna put a generous amount on there. Well, that's gonna work. There we go. Yeah, we just need Alright, there's them. I'm happy that was good. Now Well, I'm kind of sort of happy with it. Oh, I dropped that one in the dirt. That sucks. Okay, let's try this going a different direction. Let's see here. Can we get it to go that way? I get this one. Get it down. And then bend that just a little bit. I worked on a lot of welders coming through and at my old job. One of the biggest things I see is corrosion. Poor connections cause lots and lots of issues. Everything from the boards burning up to just not working the way they're supposed to. A poor connection could cost you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. So we'll put some good electric grease on there to keep everything covered up. We'll be good to go. Alrighty, guys. I think that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and throw another little dab on the tops. There we go. Okay, so we had to let the battery charge up here a little bit. Pretty much charged. Let's get some stuff cleaned off of it here and give her a bit of a try. Let's see if the new starter solenoid here fixed our no start issue. All right, guys. So this is the little little trailer here that we're going to use to put that machine, the water generator, on. So first things first, I'm going to use this old boat jack that I have that I've carried around for many years, and I'm going to cut this plate off right here. I already ground this smooth here and clean. I'm going to cut this plate off, get this out of here, and I'm actually going to weld it right here and here. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to fold this back down. I'm going to weld that seam there, help give it some more rigidity. This thing's not going to be towing a lot. It's going to be more of just the welder, so not the end of the world. If it's been up a little bit, I'm going to try to figure out how I want to place everything. Obviously, the rear of that machine is probably going to be all the way up here, and then from there back, I'll just kind of make trailer out the way I want it to be. I'd like to find a set of oxyacetylene tanks, another set of what I got, and build a mount on here for that at some point in time. That way, if I'm out working on a piece of equipment or something, I can just hook up to the back of the 4Runner with the trailer. We can go out to the job and do whatever we need to do. So I'm going to set you guys up and see what we can get ourselves into. That is the proper removal of that jack. So, all right, get this thing over here. All right, so let's get the welder. Sorry about the heater, guys. It is still cold here, and I don't really have a good heater right at the moment. If anybody has any suggestions, of how to heat a 40 by 40 with really high ceilings, there will be metal on the ceiling here before long. Hopefully I can make a video of that for you guys, but I need a way to heat it. Still kind of up in the air on what I want to do. All right, watch your eyes. Maybe. Watch your eyes, guys. tack on there. Let's see how she does. Oh, that's pretty nice. That works pretty good. Now, ideally we'd have this thing in the middle, but I think with no more weight than we're going to have on this jack at any given time, I think this will work. Alright, now we need to Alright, now we just need to grind here and here. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit difficult without taking all this up apart to get everything cleaned out of it. I'm not going to be that picky on it. Just going to get it cleaned up enough I can get a weld on it, and we'll go from there. Alright, let's throw a weld on it. Oh yeah, weld right over all that paint. Oh, guys, I think I got a little bit warm there, which is good. Yeah, well, it don't look too bad. I think that should hold just fine. All right, now I'm sure I could go a lot more in depth on a fender. This is what was on the trailer originally. I ripped them off at some point in time in this trailer's life. And I'm just going to eyeball it. And we're going to throw a couple tack welds on here and see if it looks good. If it does, we're going to send her home and weld her on solid. All right, guys, so there we go. Fenders all welded on there. I did a little tack job on where they meet. Fender's pretty strong, so for what it is, not too shabby. So I will I will go ahead and get the other side caught up, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I'm gonna break some people's hearts here. Probably not follow the rules. We're just gonna use some of this crappy ass Rust-Oleum. They don't make a good Rust-Oleum product anymore. Shit's junk. So we're going all in, boys. We're not even going primer. We're just gonna shoot some black to it. You seen how much cleaning I did on that? That looks great. Look at that. Looks like it just rolled off the showroom floor. Brand new. Even get a little bit on that tire. Make it look like it's nice and new as well. Look at that. Put it on nice and thick. If I'm lucky, I'll get a couple runs. Make sure you don't miss any. Wouldn't want it to rust a little bit. Even for good measures, we'll even get up under there. Oh, look at there. Look at that. Looks like brand new. I don't think there's even any runs on it yet. Alright, let's do this one. We're going to paint over all the dirt, all the grease, all the rust. It look at that. It's brand new. See that? Now we might as well just paint that whole piece. And we might as well just paint all that right there. Look at that. Good as new. Oh, we even get a little bit over here on this part. Turn our handle. We don't want to get none on that. Oh, looky there. Good as new. Got one more fender to make new again. And I'm sure since I used Rust-Oleum, this stuff will all fall off within a year anyway, so. And they'll look like crap, but that's besides the point. For now, they look great. Put it on there real thick. Be real nice, Clark. Real nice. Do the same tire shine like we did on the other side. See that? Oh yeah, brand new. Brand new. Gotta get back in there. We don't want no rust happening on this pristine unit that we got here. I mean, this thing is top quality. They don't make them like this anymore. Actually, they do. This is Harbor Freight. They make a bunch of them. But this is the last one that I'm going to buy. And I didn't even buy it from Harbor Freight. I bought it from somebody a long time ago. So, all right. Don't mind my mess. I'm practicing. My wife loves when everything's a mess. The shop, the house, any of it. She just absolutely loves it. Tells me how much she loves it. So I'm really working on practicing out here. This is my practice. As you can see, this place is a disaster. I have stuff just stuffed in here all over the place. But we'll address that another day, because that's not going to happen today. The heater just ran out of fuel, so that's fun. So, before it gets too cold, let's get this big heavy thing picked up and stuck on the trailer. All right, turn that noisy thing off. Okay. All right, now we're back. Okay, so now that's on there. As you can see here, it's in tip-top shape. Don't worry about that, them are minor details.
It looks like it's pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit off. We'll wiggle it around a little bit, but yeah, look at that jack. That thing just works smooth as can be. Sometimes this older, simpler stuff is the way to go. That just works slick as can be. Nice.
All right, guys. So let's see. Last night left off with getting the welder set up on the trailer here. I got some nuts and bolts in the bag there, and then stopped today at the tractor supply store. I picked up this box here, this plastic job box. Got my welding leads. Bought myself a cheap helmet with a flip up lens so that I can do welding and grinding. And then bought the cheapest stuff I could, some gloves, chipping hammer, some wire brush, and some C-clamp or some vice grips, and then tape measure. I feel like that's pretty much about everything that I would need in this on this trailer if I was out to fix a piece of equipment or something of that nature.
All right, so here's the finished product, guys. Got the fenders welded back on there. They're good and solid. Inside the box, got it all bolted down back here on both ends. Got our welding cables, our welding leads, helmet, and your bare necessity tools that you would possibly need on a welding job. Have to get a lock to put there to keep the honest people honest. And yeah, I mean I think it's pretty good little setup. And when I got this welder and got it all put back together, I put these wing nut terminals on here, and that is so now when I go to park it, I can just take the positive negative off, take the battery out, bring it up here to shop, put it on a tender, and if I need to go down and get the trailer, I can just throw the battery back in it, tighten the wing nuts down, good to go. Yeah, this fender over here, got the welder up there, got it all, took the front cover off, got the bolts in the front. They go through that cross member that's located right here on the trailer all the way across, so it's not going anywhere. The bolts in the front of this are through the cross member. The rear ones are just through the boards. They got fender washers on top and bottom. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. This trailer's not really, I didn't really build it to, I didn't build this trailer to go cross country with it. This is simply just something so if I have a piece of equipment out and it breaks and it needs welded, I can take this out, pull it right up to the machine, weld what needs to be welded to get the machine back home to be able to do the proper repair if need be. This little flag here, this little bicycle flag, is actually, it's on here for the purpose of when you're backing up the little wagon, tend to not be able to see it. So that right there, this flag actually gives you the ability to see the back corner of the trailer. So then when you're backing up, you know exactly where that back driver's side corner is. Makes it a little bit easier to, back up and pull up. So that is a wrap for this job, and we're going to park this down in the barn, and we will not be touching it again for probably quite some time. Did get this jack all lubed up, so this thing just effortlessly goes up and down. And this thing, I can pull this trailer behind the Rhino if need be, behind the 4Runner, whatever needs to happen to get it to the job site. So the tilt deck is still functionable, so you pull the pin there when it's hooked to something, the deck will still tilt up. I didn't change any of that, so later down the road you wanted to unbolt all this stuff, you can unbolt it and go right back to a regular little wagon. So this will get parked down there and probably forgotten about for quite some time until it's needed.